What is up, everybody? Oh no, the collar already. The collar is messing up. No. There we go. Haha. I get kitties. I get cats in the house. Yeah. You know what this makes me though? The cat's meow. Oh yeah. No, I'm kidding. Honestly, I don't know what I'm talking about. Honestly, half the time. Anyways, but I do know what I'm talking about when it comes to faith. Yes, when it comes to faith, because that's what tonight is about again. Once again, we're going to be coming back to the faith of stepping it up. What was Jesus' next thing? And so, yeah, so last night, there were some technical difficulties, and I kind of went over last night's the night before. um, but he was stepping it up, showing that his power was from God, from his Father, not of his own. Okay, although it was of his own, it was also of God. Okay, and so of course I'm talking about Jesus. So God the Father sent God the Son, because Jesus is both man and God, and so here, I'm just going to recap. There was all this hype around Jesus, okay? All this hype, okay? And he came to earth and he performed his first miracle, okay? And then he had to level that up for people to keep believing. Not necessarily, okay? If you get what I mean by this, is that he with the magic show, you have to keep people intrigued. People were already intrigued in Jesus, and so um, the thing with this is they have to. When you're in a magic show or really any form of entertainment, I've said this multiple times this past week, is that you have to keep your audience intrigued. So, what's the next step up? Now, I did also mention last night the reason you alternate or use a different prop is so that way your audience is still intrigued. Like I was talking with a friend last night about this, and I told him it's like breath, like breathing, and he understood right away what I meant. But there was somebody else who had asked what I meant, and and I figured I'd share it here with you guys. Is that you have to keep providing the breath. Okay, so whatever form of entertainment you're doing is the oxygen. Okay, you have to keep pumping that oxygen, or the person is gonna get tuned out. They're gonna die. And so you have to keep pumping that oxygen, or else they're gonna die. Okay, and you don't want them to die. And so you have to keep something happening over and over again, or else you're gonna lose them. And so this is um, this is a little routine I came up with. But the thing about this is you'll see it throughout this whole effect. Not just this effect though. Is you've noticed I mentioned last night use a different prop. But why am I going back to a prop I already used? This will come in later for another effect of where I have to show that I've been using the same cards all night long. Of where I've been showing, hey, these cards are completely normal. These are the ones I've been using all night long. And you'll see that in a couple days. But the reason I'm not doing back to back to back card tricks is because that breath of entertainment is not gonna be there. And so it's okay. So say you're trapped in a room for a few hours. Okay, or well, not necessarily trapped. You just choose to be there, and you step outside for a minute. Guess what? You call it going and getting some fresh air. So that's what you're doing, really, is you're stepping them into a different room and then asking them to come back to that room. And so I'm using these cards as a callback, like, oh, okay, he used those cards before. Okay. And so you'll see this in a couple days, what I mean. But you'll see here tonight that this is more of a mind game that I'm using the same cards as before. Okay. And so, yeah, so without further ado, this is the Amazing Grace card trick. Okay. And so it really is a free choice of cards. You can see all the cards being shuffled together. And so you'll also see a lot of magicians shuffling cards like this, nice and fancy and clean and cut and everything. They'll push together and then they'll take the cards and they'll cut them and things like that. But that is not the way I'm going to do it because I want them to recall. I want them to familiarize themselves with this. Okay, I want them to familiarize themselves. Okay, I recognize that. That is a real shuffle. Because with this right here, while I can do it, I can shuffle like this. I don't want them to be like, oh well, I can't shuffle like that. And some people can't even shuffle like the normal way of like this. So that is also where this comes in. It's just going in a random overhand shuffle. That is what this is called. It's because it's going over your hand. Yeah, I don't know. We're very unimaginative when it comes to naming things. Well, some of us. And so, yeah. You can see you can make it messy and everything because it really is a free choice. Now, back to the trick. I apologize. Now the trick is starting. So you know the deck is fully shuffled. Occasionally I'll just throw in this one. This is a fully shuffled deck as it was used before, you could see. But this time we're going to do something a little different. Okay? This time I want you to pick a random card, okay? Just a random card. Now, if you were here, of course, I would spread this out and you would pick one, but you're not here, so we're just going to do that right there, whatever that card is. I don't know what that card is. Gonna place that back on. Can't see it. Perfect. Well, I can't see it. What you're gonna do though, you're gonna take a look at that card. All right, you're gonna take a look at that card. I can't tell if you guys can see that or not. Okay. All right, I'm gonna hold that there for a few seconds. How about that? You know what? Where is the? Okay, here we go. We're gonna do this. We're gonna have something hold that up for a few seconds while I turn away. Okay? So hopefully you guys can still see that. I'm gonna turn around so I cannot see it at all. Okay, how about this? I'll look completely away for, let's just say, 5 seconds. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and now I'm just gonna flip that card downwards, and I have no clue what that card is at all. Okay, and so we'll just put that little stand back over there. Perfect. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take this card right here, whatever this random card is. Okay, I'm emphasizing that this is a random card because it truly is a random card. I'm going to take this card, place it on top, nice and fair. I'm going to take it. I'm going to lose it in the middle. Okay, you see that's that card right there getting lost and squared up in the middle. Now, I'm going to do one simple move. Well, I'm going to do it a couple times. Now, I would ask you if you know what that does. A lot of people say I'll rise to the top and things like that. But no, they're all wrong. It hurts. And so what it also does is it doesn't only hurt, but it flips one card and one card over. Yeah, one card and one card over. One card and one card. Okay, those are indicator cards. They indicate I messed up. You know what? We can do a quick insurance policy. How about that? A quick insurance policy. That the 6 of hearts is not your card? No? Okay. How about the 7 of hearts? No, that's not your card? Okay. You know what? Here, we're going to try this. Okay. So, all right. I don't know if any of you know this, but there is a song called Amazing Grace. You don't have to know it by heart or anything, but the song is about the amazing grace that saved us. So it goes, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound, I once was lost, but now I am found. And so I'll teach the cards the song, but a little differently. Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound, your card was once lost, but now it's found. And you can see right here in between these two, nothing else. In between these two is the 2 of hearts. Now, what's cool about that song "Amazing Grace," though, is that it talks about the grace that was given to us by Jesus dying on the cross for us, as mentioned in John 3:16, which goes, "For God so loved the world that He sent His only Son Jesus to die for us, that oof, sorry, that whoever believes in Him shall not perish but have everlasting life." And so, what I am doing here is I'm pulling out all the heart cards, and I'm going to set aside the king and the jack. Okay, I'm going to set aside the king and the jack because the king will represent God and the jack will represent Jesus. Okay, and so I think we're almost done there. There's Jesus, and there we go. Now, that is all of the heart cards. But, so since this represents God and this represents Jesus, um, God, Jesus, sorry, I think I did that backwards. Anyways, um, this middle house could represent something more accurately, because it's a big mess. I think it could represent the world, a big mess. Yeah, and here we'll even mix it up a little more. You can see all the cards going together. I'm even going to do this face down so I can't see it. Okay, you can see all the cards getting mixed together, a big old mess. All right. All right. And I'll give it one more shuffle. You'll see some of the cards will come off the top, some will come off the bottom. Everything. It's a completely true shuffle. You'll see some off the top, some off the bottom, some out of the middle. Everything. Okay, a little bit of everything. Now, what we need is two cards selected. And instead of trying to stand up and everything again, I'm just gonna do this. You know what? Rather than getting the stand, two cards selected. Let's see. There. That's exactly where it dropped. All right, we're gonna do this one more time. Give it a little shuffle. All right, and now these cards are actually gonna represent me and you. Yeah, one for me, one for you. And so now, let's see one more time. There we go. Dropped right there. Now, whoops. There we go. All right, you know what? Just throw those in there. It doesn't matter. Okay. Now, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna have you take a look at those two cards while I look away. All right. Now you can choose whichever one represents you and whichever one represents me. All right, I'm going to let you look at it for 2 more seconds. And time's up. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is going to place me and you on top of the world. Hey, look at that. We're on top of the world. Who knew it'd be so easy? Now, going back to the verse that shows us the amazing grace of God, is that John 3:16. For God so loved the world that He gave His only Son, Jesus. I know it's a really cool visual, but what we're gonna look at here is the moral of that verse. See, the moral of that verse, I'll spell it out real quick, is that Jesus, Jesus, truly, TRULY, loves, LOVES, oops, YOU, and AND me. ME. And so what this shows is not only do they love everybody, but they love everybody individually. And you can see here that there is two cards in between God and Jesus that landed in between God and Jesus, and that should be me and you. Oh, okay. I don't think that was us. So I'm going to try that one more time. I do apologize. Oh, I know where I went wrong. I didn't mix up the world more. See, that's the problem. Is we get so lost, we get mixed up, and yeah. Okay, so we're gonna attempt that one more time. I apologize. But see, that's the thing, is I'm human and I make mistakes. God doesn't. Don't worry. God does not make mistakes. So what we're gonna do one more time, we're gonna do this one more time. All right, get two cards selected. Hello, Miss Hood Therapy. I see your comment there. I just cannot click on it because I am sitting down currently. All right, and so now we're gonna get a second card selected. There we go. Whatever that top card is. Now we're gonna try this one more time. Go ahead and take a look at these two cards. All right, and perfect. Now, what we're gonna do is place those back on top of the world, just like so. And now you'll see here. Watch. Now we're gonna get mixed into the world, like so. You'll see mixing us into the world multiple times. You can see multiple times over. And now we'll look at the verse one more time. For God so loved the world that he gave his only son Jesus, like so. He gave his only son Jesus. And so the moral of the verse being that Jesus, Jesus, truly, Truly, loves, LovesuYou, and AND me. M-E. And so what this shows is not only do they love everybody, but they love everybody individually. And in between God and Jesus should be you and me. Ta-da! There we go. That worked that time. And see, that was the thing before is they don't love just you and me. They love everybody. So that's perfect. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys heard the message throughout that. That with us putting together this show, you'll see how we're leveling up, how we're going and we're calling back, but then we're leveling it up at the same time from that beginning thing. Okay, and so if you haven't seen those, please feel free to go back. I believe we're on day 254 now, and so it'll be I think I started around day 250. I will put it in the comments below if I remember. But it is also supposed to be stormy again tonight, and so there may be some technical difficulties. But please feel free to go back and check those out. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please don't forget to leave a like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I hope to see you guys tomorrow. Peace, and have a blessed night.